This might get weird.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Are we sure?
I mean, as far as my ability to run this board of wires and cables and buttons, yes.
Oh, well, cheers, Grace Helbig.
Cheers, Mamrie Hart.
Oh, you wonderful loyal listeners. We have had a hell of the last couple hours.
What fun. We were not planning on recording this episode under these conditions because, as most of you know, we spent the weekend at RTX in Austin, the Rooster Teeth festival, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no, convention. I keep calling it a fest.
Yeah. And we did a live recording of our podcast down there. Yes. And a few hours ago, we were informed that the audio was, I guess, in the technical terms, fucked.
Oh, real fucked. Or as you like to say, going through it.
The audio is really going through it.
Our audio guy, Nick, said that it sounded like we were underwater talking through socks. Which double grossed me out because I hate when you're just wearing socks in the house and you step in a puddle and they get a little bit wet.
A little damp.
So wet socks already gross me out. Now the thought of them in a mouth. No, thank you. Yeah, guys, our audio apparently got fucked from that podcast. So we have
yeah, if you don't believe us, here, Nick, can you insert just a little
clip
snippet so that you guys can really understand?
Hey. Oh, you're here for a reason. And one of them is jokes like that. So we get in and we seem to be the only group that's not moving, that can't figure it out. And there's every age group.
Yeah, I've heard scuba diver sound more clear than that. So we are doing a Hail Mary podcast right now because it is Tuesday at like 5 o'clock. So we're doing it last minute. We just found out.
Yeah, we're trying to not what's the like the equivalent of puke and rally. Like record and rally.
Record and rally. Yeah, puke out some words and rally them over to be edited.
Yeah,
so.
Because we were both like kind of bummed because we thought we had a really fun time. And to anyone that's listening that came out to the podcast
thank you
at the convention, thank you. And you guys, turns out, unknowingly got a private show.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you weren't there at that podcast, we are going to be doing live podcasts around the country that we will make sure the audio is great for. If you haven't gotten your tickets to our This Might Get Weird live tour, get them now. They are going.
Look, we're going to Phoenix on the 25th, Seattle on August 2nd, Portland on August 3rd, Denver on August 16th, Dallas August 17th, Detroit August 23rd, and Minneapolis August 24th.
Damn, that is quite the lineup. And by the time this comes out, it'll be just basically 2 weeks till we're going to Phoenix because that's the only Thursday show of the run. So
and get it, you guys know that it's hot in Phoenix and our venue has air conditioning. So even if you're not a fan, but you need a fan, like get in there.
Just come in and just.
I don't mean to sound desperate.
No, I mean sound desperate, bitch. We need to sell some tickets. So wow. Okay, I think we should do just a little brief catch up of the things we talked about in the Rooster Teeth episode because a lot happened. One big thing that I would like to bring up is that when I was drunk on Saturday night, we had just gone to a party. We'd had a great time. It was sponsored by Kraken Rum, which is very fun to say.
Chip put his head into a giant, like, old-timey, like, scuba man's mask.
Yeah, like the big metal ones, which, I mean, obviously he's comfortable. He had just scuba dived.
Yeah.
I didn't put it on. I wasn't trying to have a panic attack.
I didn't know it was a prop.
We know how I feel.
I turned over and I was like, where did he get that from?
Chip that's what he wears to parties.
Yeah.
But when we were there, we had a bunch of drinks. We left. We go to another bar, and you got what I would consider to be one of the most terrifying texts one can get from a friend.
Yes. From Diane Kang. You guys probably know she was my former assistant. She was our producer and writer on This Might Get when it was a web series. She texted us, and she currently is in Korea, but I think she was in San Francisco. It doesn't matter. She texted us. Let me see if I can pull up the actual text because I was also not sober when getting this text, which is even more fun. She says, lol, text from Bay, and it's a screenshot of Still Millie saying Diane.
So much information.
Yeah. But this is how the pipeline works.
Okay.
It's a tweet.
Someone screen grabbed it, sent it to Diane. Diane sent it to you.
They sent Diane a direct message on Twitter that said, Diane, tell Grace to pull down the latest. This might get weird. She's flashing her vagina at 34 minutes and 30 seconds in.
Oh my God. That is like my worst nightmare.
And Diane knows we only text when it's an emergency or a birthday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or an emergency belated birthday text.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I sobered up immediately because I thought maybe this is just a funny one-off thing that someone might have seen something. And then I start going into my @replies on Twitter and my DMs on Instagram, just like truly fact checking. This is the most fact checking I've ever done, even for like school papers.
Badge checking.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it's just underwear, and I can't tell. The screen on my phone is too little, and we're outside, and it's dark in Austin.
Were you wearing like brown furry underwear?
I was, yeah, I know. That's why I was like, what's the big deal, guys?
It's a big deal. They're my brown furries.
I was wearing
my dark and curlies.
I was wearing Brillo pad underwear. That's real fun.
Wow.
You guys don't do that?
Brillo pubes, steel wool.
An LA thing.
Yeah, you came up to me and you're like, so apparently my vagina might be showing on our last podcast. So I'm going to go home and check it on a bigger screen. And you had like the power and steadiness in your voice, like you only get when you sober up from an emergency. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can be totally wasted face, and the second your friend gets hurt, you're like, I will be taking them to the emergency room.
Oh, 100%. Hannah's already, the reason I have a scar above my left eyebrow is because I fell down drunk during a party, and I have never watched someone go into such like crisis management mode, like sober up immediately, being like, here's exactly what our plan is. And that's what I felt like all of a sudden. I usually am a Mr. Magoo, and I was like, I'm a MacGyver in that moment.
Oh, from Magoo to MacGyver.
Oh, that's my TLC reality show.
That's your like burst through the paper on Jenny Jones.
Yeah. So I went back to the hotel room, like fully beelined it, but did stop and get a drink at the bar downstairs
before you knew if vagina was out.
Look, I had to make
oh my god,
I had to make allowances because I didn't know how bad or how not bad it was going to be. So stopped, got a drink, ran upstairs, saw that it was questionable. There's a bit of lip. There's enough that there was enough comments on that exact thing that I was like, now people will only watch this episode for this specific thing or try to make it something bigger.
We could have gone viral.
I know. I'm sorry. Look, I already thought about that too. I was
we
like,
really could have gotten some numbers pumped up on that channel.
Look, my morals have decreased in the years that I've been on the internet, but I did have to think about some other people in my life that might have been affected by it.
Okay, so we're like, this is our, what's the movie where they're like, if we're not married by 30, my best friend's wedding, we'll get married. So if we're not like the number one video podcast by next year, pull the vagina out.
I'm not gonna agree with that. Absolutely not. There's no way. Absolutely not. But the greatest thing was that all of you that listened and watched, none of it was like a pervy, like, oh,
thank God,
her lips are out. Like none of it was that. It was all like, oh honey, you should check this, double check, like make sure that this is okay. It was all so warm and sweet and just nervous on my behalf.
Everybody's lovely.
Thank you to everyone that messaged me, and thank you to even the people that messaged after and they were like, I didn't know if I should say anything because I didn't want to overstep my bounds. No, thank you guys very, very much appreciated. That said, the video, I just immediately, I get so slow at editing now. I've never edited something faster in my life. And in that moment, I found a smiley face PNG, just put it over there and like followed it's literally me sitting in this chair, which now I wear pants for every episode. And I'm just readjusting myself and it's a flash of a moment. But
we're just saying you guys missed out. That's why you got to get to our YouTube videos as soon as we upload them.
Turn on those notifications.
You never know when you're going to get a snatch. Turn on that smell notification.
Oh my God. Oh my God. No, it was a very different hour than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, okay. So that is anxiety inducing. But also earlier today, we were talking about how you and I both had crazy anxiety dreams last night.
Yeah.
I mean, mine was one where it was like a superpower group of anxiety dreams, like the Traveling Wilburys. It was like,
I don't know what that is.
Like the Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? You know, like,
do you want to have sex with me?
No, I'm just saying, like, it was like Maya and Missy Elliott. It was all the heavy hitters of anxiety dreams.
Oh, okay.
It was like the brakes on my Bronco went out. We were getting ready to do a show and I didn't know any of the lines.
All the classics.
Beans was like stranded at home and I couldn't get to her. It was cuckoo.
Oh, that's nuts.
And then you had your reoccurring.
I've had, and I talked about this in our live thing, like I've had a bunch of anxiety dreams lately. And one that happened the night before our show at RTX was that I had to do a show in Denver come to our Denver show.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get, you might have been there, and I was trying to get like my car or whatever I had to the show with like stuff in it, and I didn't have the show fully formed. And then Goose all of a sudden could talk and decided that she was going to help me out by getting in the front and parallel parking my car for me. And
I wish dogs could parallel park.
And you asked me like, what did her voice sound like? And I don't remember what her voice sounded like. I just remember it was kind of cartoonish, but not to the point that it was distracting. I was still focused on her doing a good job in parallel parking. But then last night I had a dream where this alligator kept trying to come up and eat me.
Now, is this because, have you seen the previews for the movie Crawl?
No.
Oh my God.
What's
okay.
This
preview came on before the last couple movies I went to go see, because I've been on a real movie kick lately, because I found a movie theater that still has matinee prices.
Get it?
It's like $7 with recliner seats. I'm like, what is this, the 90s?
Don't say where it is.
No, I'm not
Keep
trying
it
to blow up the
precious.
spot. No,
Yeah.
seats go quickly. But there's a new movie coming out called Crawl that's essentially like a hurricane movie, probably Florida, and a girl's like, my dad's stranded, I'm going to go get him. He's stuck in the basement. He's wounded. Long story short, it's like the house is flooded and there's big ass alligators in there chasing. But the thing that got me is at the end of the preview, she's in like a sliding glass door tub, like a 90s, it's like instead of a shower curtain, you have the sliding glass.
Yes.
She's in one of those. She can see the prehistorically large alligator is outside of it, and she just opens the door and goes like, come and get me, you son of a bitch. And I'm like, yeah, fucking like, I burst out laughing in the theater. Like, I don't care how much adrenaline is coursing through your body, you are not going to say come and get me, son of a bitch, to a big ass alligator.
No, also alligators don't speak English. What's the point of that? Conserve your energy if you're going to fight this thing.
Right, totally. Don't taunt it with a language it doesn't know. So anyway, the reason why I brought that up is because Grace and I just came from shooting a couple promos for the tour, and when we were talking about anxiety dreams, the girl there, Rose, she was like, oh, I had a terrible anxiety dream last night that I was dating, she was on a date with Michael Musso.
Yeah,
and we
from
were like,
Hannah Montana.
which I realized when I posted that high school pic of Chip, people were like, that's who he looks like.
Oh, see, I politely nodded and went, when she said that, and I had no frame of reference.
I only knew that because people were saying young floppy hair Chip looked like him.
Okay.
But she was like, and I got a tattoo. And he was covered in tattoos.
And then he gave her a tattoo.
And we were like, well, why would that be an anxiety dream? That sounds like you're going out with a former kid star and getting tattoos. Yeah. I'm down.
Yeah.
And she was like, because I just got a tattoo and I haven't told my parents yet.
And her parents are huge fans of the podcast.
Ooh, I just outed you.
Sorry, Rose. It was very nice to meet you. And we're sorry that we outed you.
Absolutely.
One thing I did see that actually in the, because we have our own little like crisis figuring out problem solving thing with recording this podcast now like this, was getting in my car and being like, oh, what are we going to talk about now? Because I feel like I blew my load at RTX.
Oh, you blew it everywhere.
I know.
They've been cleaning up for days.
I know. But one of the cool things, and I have to find it because I opened, before I pulled out of the parking lot, I opened Twitter just to see like what's going on, to see if it would rattle around some ideas. Oh, dang. Where is it? Have you seen the photo of Celine Dion on a bird scooter? Okay. Let me find it. She's in like full, like the most expensive clothing you've ever seen. And
it's Dion in Dior on a bird.
Literally, she's like going into Paris Fashion Week. Look at this photo.
Oh yeah, you guys got to Google this. Is she under the Eiffel Tower?
I believe so. Yeah, this is her.
She has truly been killing it lately in the fashion game.
I mean, and just the meme game. She knows she's coming in hot as a meme in the making.
She does. She's really just owning that meme life.
This made me laugh so hard, and then I was like, "Life's silly. We can go record another podcast. It's no big deal.
Who cares?" I have loved Celine obviously forever, but when she wore that suit backwards, it really like I'm stressing out about what to wear to this wedding we're going to this weekend.
Yes.
I'm like, but if I just put something on backwards, am I then high fashion?
Probably, because I remember I knew like I would watch Melissa and Joan like on the red carpet do reviews and everything, but I never fully like was into fashion. I always thought it was like silly and like I don't know if I should aspire to this in any way. And then I remember so significantly, and everyone does, that moment where she came dressed in a tux backwards. And I remember being so confused. I should look up what year that was to figure out how actually old I was when that was happening.
Yeah.
Because I remember knowing this is significant.
This is a moment.
Yeah, this is silly, but I'm probably like 10, 11, and I can't understand actually what the like repercussions of how ridiculous this is.
Absolutely. Like, I don't remember that much red carpet ever.
Bjork is the only other one that I kind of
Bjork
remember.
and Duck and Brittany and Justin and Denim and
J-Lo.
Celine.
And J-Lo in the
J-Lo in the
curtain.
thing. Did you ever see the documentary the South Park guys made about creating a South Park episode?
Yes.
Do you
and
remember?
they do it in the week?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they said remember when they went to, I forget which award show, but one of them dressed up as
as
that
J-Lo.
they were on mushrooms when they walked the red carpet.
Yes, they did say that.
Can you imagine having the fucking self-confidence to eat mushrooms, put on an insane outfit, and walk a red carpet?
I do that in the privacy of our Palm Springs home.
No, like you're like, I want to eat mushrooms and just lay on a carpet.
I want to I'm going to put a onesie on and lay on like a cold tile floor.
And listen to J-Lo. And that's about as close as we can get.
That's the kind of like true careless confidence, carefree confidence rather, that I don't know if I want, because it just
could be reckless.
Yeah, but I there's part of me that wishes there was like one day where I could do something like that.
Speaking of, so you were trying to find things to talk about on here. When I was driving home from from where we were to get here to record, I was driving and someone laid on the horn behind me, and I was like, "What? I'm driving great." Pulls up beside me. I drive a like pistachio colored Fiat. It's another pistachio Fiat, and they just wave really big. It was two women just like going off like we were the only two green Fiats on earth. I was like, Fiat gang. Like, it was like, I see my exact car 20 times a day in LA, and they were like so pumped.
I've never had that. I've been in the car with people that do that when they see another car that's their exact make and model, and like different makes and models of different cars have different, I guess, waves or something.
Right.
I've heard of. I've never investigated.
They have different waves, like secret handshakes.
I feel like someone told me that like there's a Subaru one, or there's like
what is the Subaru
I don't
wave?
know,
because
but
that seems like it would be like the whitest.
Yeah, that
dorky. It'd be just like someone giving a fist pump and the other one just grabs it like a high five,
shaking an iced coffee at each other.
Totally.
I feel like there's different ones for different cars, because I've never done it, nor have I fully acknowledged or noticed if anyone's ever done it to me.
Well, I acknowledge when I'm driving the Bronco, and like people with old cars will be like, "What's up?" to each other, like a little nod, but not like a factory millions made car.
No.
However, if you guys listening know of a secret handshake for whatever you drive, or if there's some insider thing, please let us know.
Because I want to drive by the cars that aren't my make and model if they
And
have
do
that
it.
handshake or just wave and just confuse them.
You want to get in there. Oh, do you remember, because it was a blur when we were recording.
Oh, this is the other thing too, by the way.
Yeah.
When you were going through, you were like, I went through my notes and it was such fun. I was like, Mamrie, I have the memory of a chihuahua. You could say everything you said during our RTX thing again. I'd be like hearing it for the first time.
Well, speaking of chihuahuas, I told you how I was staying at my friend Beth and Chris's house, and I got so loaded on Friday that by the end of the night, Chip had gone to sleep. I was just down there with Beth, and I wanted her dog to give me affection, and her dog is a freaking prude. Like, will not kiss anyone.
It looks like a little teddy bear, but it's got its boundaries up.
Yeah, total. Like, we'll be sweet. You can rub it, but like, will not give tongue to save its life. And not like on the mouth. I'm not disgusting, but like, sometimes you just want a little lick. That I put chunky peanut butter on my nose. And I forced my nose up in Elmo's face, Elmo St. John, just like begging for affection, and still nothing. I had to take that peanut butter off my nose and eat it myself.
That's that's your walk of shame, is having to go to the bathroom and wipe peanut butter off the tip of your nose.
Honestly, I felt like I was in a relationship, came out in lingerie, and they went, nice, and fell asleep. I was like, I'm giving the ultimate temptation to this dog right now. Peanut butter on my goddamn nose, and not even so much as like a little tiny lick.
God. Well, I think you're going to be traumatized by that for a while, but I do think that you can rectify it. Elmo might be playing just hard to get. And just, keep it up. Keep it up. I do think the story that we should retell, because I feel like we rushed it at RTX, is our tubing situation.
Sure.
Because I think everyone's seen the photos that everyone had posted from that day and all the cryptic messages that we sent about how the day did not go as planned. And I feel like we kind of rushed it because obviously we have been talking about it for like 3 days straight since it happened. But I think these guys deserve to hear.
Well, let's do a highlights reel. Yeah. Let's do a highlights, because we went tubing and we
went tubing the day after 4th of July.
Because I figured we'd rally the groups. Everyone would be hungover. So it would be like the laziest, most barren river of all time. Like a pristine river no one's ever even discovered.
Yeah. The last time we went tubing was for Hey USA in Arizona, and there was hardly anyone on the river. So I'm of the mindset, because I've been away all week, I don't know what day it is, that it's going to be empty, it's going to be beautiful, it's going to be fun,
it's going to be gorgeous. So we load up and buy a ton of White Claws, because White Claws is the buzzword right now. If you ain't White Clawing, I don't know,
what does Chip say? No laws with White Claws. He said that, and Elliot just whispered to me, he goes, is that the tagline? I was like, with Chip, I don't know. I would assume it's not.
I'm ready for White Crawls, that movie edition White Claws. No, so we get a bunch of White Claws. And they say you can rent inflatable coolers, which is the best, because back when I used to tube in high school or something, you just had to have a regular tube and figure out how to balance a cooler on it. This is a floating cooler.
Yeah, this is made for a river.
So we go out an hour outside of Austin. We get to this shack where you rent your tubes, and they are playing music so loud.
Oh my God.
I know I am sensitive to noise, truly sensitive to noise.
I was overwhelmed by it, and I know you're sensitive to noise, and I was like, Mamrie's going to be actually having a panic attack right now. We're going to have to carry her onto this bus that takes you from their shack to the river.
Yes.
And so we pile into the bus, which has its brake beeps on. It's brake, what are they called? The brake noises.
You know the thing, the beep.
Yeah, it has its backup
beep. It has
noise
it on for the 20 minutes while people are loading up, which, by the way, we load our tubes into the back. We also have the floating coolers clearly full of alcohol.
They watched us put our White Claws.
We said, can we put these in the back? And they were like, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
We get onto what I would consider just cat on a hot tin roof in that school bus. School buses suck.
Yeah, no, that's how we knew we were so much older than everyone else that was on the school bus, because all of us immediately go, this is dangerous.
Yeah, this is dangerous. Also, there were some youngins in the back going woo! And I was like, pipe down, Chachi.
Yeah, unless you're Ric Flair, you don't do that
You do not woo. But so we start driving to the river, and
the backup beeps never stop.
It never stopped.
But they played AC/DC and then Taylor Swift back to back on this bus.
No, it wasn't even AC/DC. It was Migos, then Taylor Swift. And so, but all the while, to try to cover up the beeping noises, I was suppressing a panic attack.
Oh, same.
Nobody's business.
Oh, same. And you had already been hanging out with everyone. Elliot and I just joined the group, so we were both what's going on? What's happening? And we get to the river, and
you guys, it was busier than Obama's inauguration. That river was so goddamn crowded. You would have thought, it was Black Friday.
Yeah.
It was the Black Friday after the 4th of July.
Yeah. I wanted to, everyone's slamming in to get giant screen TVs. It was nuts. I was truly surprised. I couldn't believe that I didn't even think that it was a Friday and that this would even be a possibility.
Because I guess people skip work the day after the 4th of July?
I guess so.
I don't know.
That makes sense. But it was so crowded.
So crowded, so hot. We finally get in there. We have our floating coolers with us.
Yeah.
We get our tubes tied, if you will, so that all of us can stay together as a unit.
That was its own project. And it felt like we spent 20 minutes getting 6 of us surrounding 2 floating coolers.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get my Eagle Scout certification. And meanwhile, Chip's having me tie a knot, and I'm like, you've got a knot tattooed on your thigh. You were a fisherman in Alaska. Why am I having to do this knot?
And we're laughing and we're tying this, and then we look over and it says there's a tube chute ahead. bad swimmers like jump out now.
Yeah, it's like bad swimmers, get out of here. You're
That's
about
the
to go down a
warning.
tube chute.
Only warning.
Which is fun. It's a fun word because normally the only shoot I talk about is poop shoot.
Yep. I was waiting for it.
You know what I mean? Like when you hear shoot, you think poop shoot.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, tube shoot, that's a fun play on words. But then there's no, and so all of us start sort of murmuring, like, can we go down in this formation we've created? I don't see.
Did we just spend 30 minutes tying us together only to have to untie us together? Because it looked like it's single file line going down this tube chute, and there's like a couple of lifeguards watching so that people go down one at a time.
But they were clearly flirting, so they're doing their half job.
Lifeguards are just trying to get laid.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
I want a background check on those lifeguards because they were not doing their job.
Truly, they were lifeguards in every 80s movie.
Yeah.
Not like a kid is drowning as they're talking about like meeting at the soda shop. Like.
Yeah, at the mall food court. Yeah.
So we get untied, we get over, and finally, I believe it was who went down first?
I went down first, but we all have like our own cans, and we looked. As soon as we got closer, we realized like, oh shit, this is a for real like water slide we're about to go down. So all of us scramble and grab our own cans. And then I went down first, and then I can see Elliot behind me, and he's going down. As he's going down, holding 2 beers, one in each hand, the girl just goes, hide your cans, the cops are going to find you. And he's like, what? And then he gets shot down this water slide.
We cryptically get told that we're about to poop shoot into the popo. And then we hit this chute. You guys, it was like whitewater rapids. I don't think you should be able to go down if you were under 18 or over 50.
It was so insane. You get shot out into this whirlpool where all of these middle-aged women have just gotten like us, completely blindsided by the pressure.
The rapids are going. I can't move. I'm being just shoved into a wall.
You can't get yourself anywhere, and people are continuously shooting out of this rapid and hitting
With
each other
nowhere to go.
and pushing each other into the opposite side of where the river flows out to.
So the thing that really got me though, is we get to the rapids. I see a kid at the bottom wearing goggles, not on a tube, and he just, as soon as I'm about to like take his fucking head off, just dives under me, pops back up, and I'm like, what the fuck? I realize that this kid is probably just diving to see what people have lost. When they get, it's like people sitting under a roller coaster to get like wallets and hats and things like that fall off of your body.
And in my naivete, I thought, this is the only responsible lifeguard here.
He was 11. No, but he kept popping up. I almost took him out so many times that at one point he popped up like a fucking gopher to my tube as I'm fending for my life, and I just look at this child and go, what are you doing? Aggressively. We were flailing about so much that Chip, of course, had to get out of his tube, grab us, and like take us like a train over to the side of the other side of the river that was calmer.
Because we found out then immediately that there's all these police that are just waiting in the water.
You guys, it was a goddamn trap.
And they are checking everyone's coolers that's coming down there, and all these thankful, like wonderful people that are sitting on the side of the river just like slamming beers and drinking and hanging out, informed us of the actual rules of like this river, that you can't have anything that like cans or water bottles or anything like that,
which really I respect, because it was a beautiful clean river, and if you could I guess have cans and shit that you could drop easily, then it would have been polluted. But I don't think it's okay that we rented each of those floating coolers for $10 a pop. They watched us load it up, and then they just sent us in to a sting operation.
They did. I feel like they're getting some kind of kickback from the fines that people are getting.
Yeah, I mean, like the police were in waders.
They
walking through.
They were like trout fishing in the water, just walking through and pulling people. But meanwhile, they know what we're doing.
They had like fishing poles with tickets on the end of them, just like fly fishing them, being like, "You're caught." You're caught.
Meanwhile, we're all trying to be descript, and like none of us are good at getting our tubes anywhere. So we're all struggling. Like it was like the slowest chase of all time.
Chip is taking charge as all these locals are going like, hide those cans. You better hide those cans. You're about to get busted. Hide those cans.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cuckoo, but then we find out that as long as you're touching the edge of this one spot of the river that was private property, you could drink. So we just stood there and chugged a fuckload of White Claws.
So the photo that you've probably seen on all of our Instagrams is all all of us trying to touch this wall while the cops are in the background, like checking everyone else's
3 White Claws in 10 minutes deep.
I know. I mean, and that's as much as I like White Claw.
I'm still farting. That was 5 days ago, and I consumed like 4 whoopee cushions worth of air from those White Claws.
Oh, it was so nuts.
We are not sponsored by White Claw, by the way.
No.
I know we've said their name 800 times.
A million times. But it was, and that was all within like the first
5 minutes
of us being there. Yeah. And so all of us are just like, what's happening?
The rest of the river was great.
Beautiful.
We went down another small chute, and once again there was a child at the bottom, and our friend Chris was like, oh, this poor child, I don't want to hit him. And then he was just like, no, fuck this kid, he's standing at the end of the chute, and just took him down. I just saw like him just be like, screw it, and take down a 5-year-old.
But I thought it was because the 5-year-old splashed him directly in the face.
He did. He was at the bottom of the chute, splashed him in the face, so he just said like, fuck it, I'm running this kid over. And then later down the tubing, my favorite part is we're finally relaxed. We're doing our things. We've all got this like light buzz from hard seltzer.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we hear Elliot and a kid has swam down the river without a tube, grabbed Grace's boyfriend Elliot's tube, and been like, Elliot, can I get a picture? My name is Elliot.
Yeah, he's also like, I love you on SourceFed. Can I get a picture? And Elliot's like, okay. And the kid pulls out like a waterproof box around his iPhone. And then all of us are like, none of us want to touch your iPhone and take
into a fucking river.
It was incredibly sweet, but also like it came out of nowhere.
It was a damn time.
It was very, very fun. It just started off fast and furious.
I was furious. The shoots were fast, and I was friggin' furious. But I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah, now
maybe
that
on a
I know,
less crowded day.
Now that I know what the actual rules are.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of craziness, though.
Yeah.
Natural craziness. We missed 2 friggin' earthquakes while we were in Texas.
I know. That's what I thought was funny driving over here. I was like, we missed the earthquakes, but we have another situation on our hands.
No, totally.
Yeah, we missed earthquakes. Did anything happen in your house while you were gone?
No, nothing broke. Everything was cool. The only thing I was worried about is that the person watching Beans was out of the house when it happened.
Oh.
And they were like, oh no, she's all just tucked in the bed. But I'm thinking, monkey's jumping on a bed. She could be a pure jumping bean, you know? What actually could happen to her from those vibrations? Because
she gets mad when I walk past her. So
your light step is 7.1.
I walk on my heels, to be fair. She has fair reason to be scared.
Yeah, you got a heavy walk for a light person.
I do.
Yeah, did anything happen at your house?
No, everything is safe. Everything's okay. Goose seems fine. I haven't seen any noticeable damage at all.
Now, are you earthquake prepared?
I got a text from my uncle when I was in Florida late at night that was just like, you got your earthquake kit. And I have 2. Hannah scared me straight a year or 2 ago.
Hannah scaring someone straight?
I know.
Now I've heard everything.
But she talked to us about like doomsday prepping, and then
she got real into it for a minute. I thought she was going to go full shack in the woods.
Then I got a little tipsy and went on Amazon and bought 2 fully prepared like doomsday kits, and then the backpack dog bag, which Goose is a goddamn heavy asshole. So like, I just imagine that my adrenaline, like with the potential cooter on the internet situation, will kick in, and I'll be able to like Hulk her out on my back in this
like a full
like if I
those
need
Iron
to.
Man competitions.
Yeah, because I can't walk her on a leash in a problem like that. Like it'll be crazy. But I think the kits that I have expired because I forget that they can do that. So I have to take a look at them. But I've had them for like 2 years in my house under this one area
because they have like flares, glow sticks, like a crank battery.
Yeah.
What is it called? The food that's dehydrated?
Astronaut ice cream.
No, not just that. Like it's not like MRI. That's like the test.
The meal's ready to eat.
The meal's ready to eat. That's like freeze dried spaghetti and shit. Like I've seen you. No, you ate one once when you were just really drunk.
Yeah, I ate one. No, when I was very hungover, which is maybe worse.
It was New Year's Day.
It was New Year's Day, and it was in this hipster hotel that we were in, and I was so hungry, and I didn't know what everyone's plan was, and I was like, I don't know if this is like decoration or it could have been here for a long time.
Freeze dried food.
I'm going for it.
No, I have one of the kits for my house, but then Chip just recently got obsessed with us having he calls them get home bags.
What's that?
In each of our trunks. So it's basically the same thing, but if some shit went down, but not just earthquake, like if just any crazy thing went down.
If anything, any natural disaster that's been in a movie that The Rock's been
or
in.
like a bomb or something crazy, that we could both get home safely.
Okay.
So I'm like getting prepared on all walks. Like
dang.
I'm 1 second away from just wearing a backpack like that at all times because shit's getting crazy.
What's in your get home kit?
Like waters and extra cell phone battery
I was
and
like
flares.
underwear because I will immediately shit my pants.
It's not a walk of.
I mean,
shame.
they're probably very similar, to be fair.
Yeah, they are.
It's a water, it's a crank phone charger.
That's what we need. We need get home bags.
That are secretly walk of shame bags.
Absolutely, to sell to college students or other.
We'll take it to Shark Tank.
Frisky people. Let's see here. What else we got? Oh. Did you know
Did you do a monkey impression?
I did. I did a full ooh. Did you know Devon Sawa's in a new movie with Sylvester Stallone and 50 Cent and Dave Bautista?
I don't know why you even tried to reference the other movie about all the people. The song about like Maya and everyone. I'm like, this seems more relevant to what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, the super group. Yeah, he's in a movie with them and he plays the villain. And listen to this, because I heard him talk about it on Twitter or something like that. The fight scenes between him and Stallone, they didn't have a fight choreographer. Stallone was just like, fighting? Do you really just want to fight? And he was like, sure. And so they're actually just like randomly fighting and throwing punches in it.
I don't know if I think I might prefer I hate fighting like that.
Yeah,
and so knowing in those moments that it's choreographed puts me a little bit more at ease. I think that might make me even more stressed out watching something like that.
But I think it's kind of badass.
I mean, yeah, Stallone. Of course, Stallone's going to be like, you really want to fight?
Can you imagine?
Yeah. What do you say to that? No, I'd rather have some choreography.
No, Mr. Sly. I'm going to do a pirouette.
But that's also so intense because, like, what if you fuck up Sylvester Stallone by accident and he's the one that initiated it?
He is older, too. So, you could break a real bone on Stallone.
You could break a bone.
If you break a bone on Stallone, that's something to write home about. You know what I mean?
I'm looking up how old Stallone is.
I'm going to say he is...
This is crazy.
I'm going to say Sylvester Stallone is 69.
He's 73 years old.
Stop it.
And he asked Devon Sawa to punch him. Basically, yeah.
73?
And in his professional career, he has asked Devon Sawa, would you like to just fight?
Wow.
He's 73. Yeah. Wow.
That's really intense.
That's great. That's what I mean. Like, how do you go about that? You can't say no to Stallone, but also you don't want to like hurt this man. A national treasure.
We'll have to go see that movie that I don't know the title.
This is a whole lot of vague information for you guys.
It's me just telling you about movies, but not really knowing that much about them.
I know, but you started this off with, I heard Devon Sawa talk about this on Twitter, or something like that.
I'm becoming my mother, absolutely.
Oh, same. The only other thing that came up, one, it was really funny because before our RTX show, we had to hide. There was no like green room, so we had to hide behind this curtain.
You guys, they had like a big convention hall, if you will, just rows and rows of seats, and then a big screen up for when other people needed audio video, and we just stood behind it.
Yeah, they were like,
as soon as they let people in, we were trapped back there.
We should have known that the audio might not go so well when they were like, here's where you can wait until it starts.
Yeah, because the only audio we did have was, we were like, are we going to come out to silence? This is so awkward. So Grace gets on her YouTube app and just Googles, or I guess YouTube's, not Google's.
Yeah, I Googled on YouTube.
Looking
it took
up
a long
anything
time.
is Google for me. The Jock Jams theme, and then we just quietly came out to the Jock Jams theme.
Oh, a true treat.
At phone volume.
But when we were back there, we could hear everyone like getting settled in. I heard someone say like, people on Nextdoor are more woke.
Oh.
And that like, it was very funny. But then when I was flying back, I got a Nextdoor notification on my phone.
Well, like a push notif?
Yeah, a push note that said lewd act. And it's basically there's a man near our area masturbating
what?
In the street at 3 p.m. But here's the deal. He's done this before.
Okay.
They've called the cops on him. He rides a bike and usually carries 2 large black bags. He used to have a pet rooster with him.
Stop it!
And there's just a photo
The guy
of him.
who used to have a cock.
There's a photo
on
of him
his bike.
like, masturbating near a dumpster.
Wait, he's got a full
know.
safety vest on
Construction
that's
outfit on.
bright neon yellow, which you think if you were
He's
masturbating into a dumpster, you wouldn't want to
Well,
bring attention to yourself.
He's doing it 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and
Oh my
he's
God,
doubling
Grace.
up on making sure people see him.
Grace, we should call him the cum dumpster caper because he's literally masturbating into a dumpster in this photo.
I know. It's
Wow.
pretty nuts. But I'm so glad that they, put all the specifics that were necessary.
I
there.
mean, when it comes to people pooping,
when it comes
to people coming and pooping in public in your neighborhood, your Nextdoor app is on it, baby.
It's on it. Oh, but there's one last thing I wanted to call out because I saw this on our Patreon. Because we wanted to start incorporating some of the community posts on Patreon that
Yes.
catch our interest.
Patreon.com/this might get weird.
It is. Where did this go? It's very, very funny. Hold on. And also,
Grace.
I just love that people are posting things like this on there.
No, absolutely.
Okay, so this comes from Taylor Holy on our Patreon, and the title is Valium Made Me Pissed at Y'all.
Oh my God, I'm so scared.
I recently had my wisdom tooth surgery, and my friend showed me a video where I talked for 45 minutes about how pissed I was that neither Grace nor Mamrie reached out to me on the biggest day of my life. I went on for about 20 minutes about how I listened to the podcast every day on my way to work, and you didn't even care. And then proceeded to struggle with the idea that Grace didn't invite me on Not Too Deep to discuss how deep they went in my mouth.
Oh, if we don't get, did she post the video of her being pissed off at us?
I don't know if it's a guy or girl. It's Taylor Holy.
Taylor Holy, we need to see this video. Please put it on Patreon. I
Love it.
I mean, I know that David does the dentist. David goes to
David After Dentist.
David After Dentist has been out for 500 years, but people on fucking meds after dental surgery is still gold to me.
Oh, it's very, very funny.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow. There's some underwriting anger towards us, Taylor.
I mean, I'm sorry that we couldn't be there on the biggest day of your life, but
Yes.
know that we're here now. So I hope that the recovery is a little better than the surgery.
Hope you don't have dry socket. Ugh, isn't that the worst phase?
I hate this.
Wiggle it out.
Yeah, no thank you.
Well, I think this
Hail Mary, touchdown.
Oh my God. Hail Mary was fantastic.
Love it.
We talked about your dry socket. We talked.
Yep. Yeah, we did. There we go. Also, any patrons out there that really want us to post the complete shitty audio version of our RTX,
let us know.
we might put it up as bonus content on our Patreon. It's, audio, bad audio, Mamrie knows.
You can
sensitive.
do spot the difference if
Yeah.
you want to. And in the meantime, guys, again, we are touring very soon. Coming up in 2 weeks, we're starting in Phoenix, and we're also doing Denver, Dallas, Detroit, Minneapolis, Seattle, and Portland.
Heck
and
yeah.
it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be a hybrid of podcasts, but also Grace and I doing our own stand-up bits.
Yeah, so
and
it's going to feel like a full show.
Exactly. So get those tickets when you can. And I swear to God, if this didn't record,
I know. I'm so nervous
if
about
this
turning
didn't record, I'm gonna freak out. And 3, 2, 1, end this bitch.